Well, fine, good afternoon all. This is Patricia and I am traveling for history. I'm in Addison, Vermont today, and this in front of us is the John Strong Mansion Museum, also known as the John Strong House. It's an historic house museum here in Addison, Vermont. It was built in 1795-96 by John Strong, a Vermont politician and veteran of the American Revolutionary War. It is one of Vermont's grandest examples of late 19th century federal architecture. It is now operated as a museum by the Daughters of the American Revolution, open between Memorial Day and Labor Day. It is surrounded by the Daughters of the American Revolutionary State Park, and the house was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. The John Strong Mansion stands on the west side Vermont Route 17W, overlooking Lake Champlain in western Addison. In fact, I'll just turn around here. Can't see a view this time of the year, but I'm guessing if you're up on the second floor, or when this place was first built, you could. It occupies a modest square parcel, now completely surrounded by DAR State Park. It is a large two-story brick building covered by a hipped roof with a triangular gable at the center of the east-facing front facade. The roof line has a dentelated cornice with a half-round fan in the front gable. And no worries, I'll be explaining these things in just a moment. Trying to get a bit of a baseline with you here. The main facade is 5 bays wide and symmetrical, with the main entrance at the center of the ground floor and an elaborate Palladian window above it on the second floor. The entrance is flanked by wide sidelight windows and is sheltered by an early 20th century colonial revival gabled porch. The interior has well-preserved original details, including a fine central staircase and fireplace surrounds. John Strong was a native of Connecticut who moved to the area in 1765. He built his first house not far from the site of this one, supposedly on the site of a previous French home that had been burned during the French and Indian War. He served in the Vermont militia during the Revolution, and his house was burned by the British during the war. He rebuilt that house when the war ended, and built this imposing residence in the 1790s as its replacement. His land was acquired in 1934 by the state chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, who donated most of it to the state for the formation of the state park. So, for reference, the state park is the next right-hand turn. I don't know if you can see the sign from here, but that green sign, sort of, that you can see, says Daughters of the American Revolution State Historic Park, or State Park rather. It is on 1 acre or 0.4 hectares of land at this time, but originally it had a lot more acreage. All right, so let's talk about these elements I told you about. Let's start with the hipped roof. See how up there on the roof you have this portion in front, and it looks like you have a couple of sides there. Okay, so the hip roof is essentially in 4 parts, if you will. I think you see what I mean, right? Now, this dentelated cornice they're talking about, see along the edge there, those pieces of wood that look like maybe teeth, dentelated? Yeah, so that's what that's referring to right there. The Palladian window is right dead center. See that? So this is the that fan, that half fan they're talking about, and then this is the Palladian window. Now, to install a Palladian windows are very expensive. They may still be, but if you could install a Palladian window in your house, you had money. So clearly, anyway, from the era and this huge brick house. Also with the Federal style, a hallmark of it is its symmetry. So we see the windows are directly over one another, all the way across. And I think it said it was 5 bays wide. So that would be 1 bay, 2 bays, 3 bays, 4 bays, and the center is also a bay. So 5 bays. And we can see that this front porch emulates the dentelated cornice above. The John Strong Mansion Museum is open seasonally between Memorial Day and Labor Day when the state park is open. They offer indoor tours of this place as well. Tours do cost money. You'd have to check when those tours are and how much it costs. In 2023, a cost for an adult was $5 cash, by the way. You go online someplace and pay with a credit card or PayPal if you prefer. Seniors are $3, and I don't remember how much children were. $1 or $2. It wasn't very much. But you can also go online and see what a variety of rooms looks like online. So, pretty nifty, to be honest. All right. We're going to cross the street in order to see what these signs say on the building. And it's an unseasonably warm winter so far. There's no snow on the ground, for one thing. All right, so let's look at this bronze plaque on the right side of the building. This is on the National Register. I imagine one of these plaques says that. That's usually much smaller. Look at this place. Holy cow. Wow. I film a lot of buildings on the National Register, as you are aware. And I can see this place does not need a paint job. So, hallelujah for that. Oh, sidelight windows. I forgot to mention sidelight windows. This is a... You should think of this in terms of a Greek revival style piece. But the side lights are on either side of the door. They get their name because I just mentioned they're on the sides of the door, and they let in light. I love a simple definition, don't you? This humongous plaque tells us it's on the National Register of Historic Places. So this property has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior. Beautiful sign. All right, let's see what the other sign has to say. And look at this. Gorgeous brickwork. You can see that the front door is covered, I'm sure, to protect the door, and perhaps also so people can't try to break in. Just saying. And then over here on this side, we have don't think you can read it right there, so let me read it to you. The General John Strong House, built about 1796, purchased by the Vermont Society, DAR, that's Daughters of the American Revolution, on July 3, 1934. This marker was given by Mary Porter Constantine in honor of Estelle Lane Witherell, State Regent, 1935 to 1938, both being members of the Mary Baker Allen chapter of Cornwall. Wow, how cool is that? And let's look at this detail at the top. That's beautiful, isn't it? Wow. Very, very cool. Don't want to do a whole walk around of this place, but we can see that the windows on this side are also symmetrical, right over each other. Beautiful brick. Beautiful brick, indeed. Let's look at the, handicapped entrance. Because those of us with disabilities want to be able to see these places too. Beautiful foundation. Interesting that this handrail extends farther out than the parts above it. And the entrance there. More dentulated molding. Beautiful detail. I wish more modern buildings were built in a beautiful style, don't you? Rock garden. Rock walls. Not really a wall, but rocks surrounding it anyway. Oh heck, I'm already committed. Let's just do a walk around of the place. So behind us is the state park. Wow. Look at that gorgeous diamond pattern. Holy cow. That is wild. Picnic area back here. Wow. Love that. I think that piece right here, I think that's bolted through to hold the walls together from falling out. But they're usually more decorative than that, so that's why I have some doubts. But if anyone else knows, please leave it in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. I wonder if this is the entrance that the volunteers or staff uses. And also note the dentulated molding here, although it's not as thick as the stuff up above, it is lovely that it harkens back to it. And a milk can. These things used to be a dime a dozen when I was much, much younger. 40 years ago? Yeah, about 40 years ago. Runs on propane. I love the wooden railing. And you can access the state park right through there too. Imagine if you are an employee or a volunteer, you're encouraged to do that. Ooh, an exterior water faucet. I'm sure the Strongs would have loved indoor plumbing. Would have loved any plumbing at the time. The shades are almost always drawn on Historical Society museums. These are storm windows, but maybe they stay on year round. I know churches do that, certainly a lot of the ones I have filmed. And note that the windows are symmetrical, one over the other. Oh, they have electric meters, so they have electricity in here too. Sweet. In case you care to look at it. Alrighty, well, we've done a walk around, haven't we now? Alrighty, well, this is Patricia and I'm traveling for history. Thank you so much for coming along with me today. I truly appreciate it. And until